Yeah, my company should do a lot of things they don't do.
Fair.
Yeah. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be sharing this image out so you all have it. We're going to cover that one first once it gets to 7 o'clock. But yeah, so I mean, you know, right now, existence is kind of just happening. No real funny stories recently. I've just been fucking working a shit ton.
Wait, excuse me?
Huh?
This bullshit you just posted.
Wait. Oh, no.
Did you just tell me that it's impossible for two characters that you're writing to have consensual sex because the author coerced them to?
Yes.
Whoever wrote this needs to back up.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
If by good you mean awful.
And so you know what? Before we'll do some more pre-talk while we're here. So I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077. You know, with the 2.0 update that came out. I beat Starfield. So now, and I'm seeing all these videos of people being like, Starfield versus Cyberpunk 2077. This moment's so much more epic than Starfield was. You're not entirely wrong. However, I don't really judge Bethesda game. Like, I see a lot of people judging Bethesda games by, like, other companies' standards. Like, I'm not gonna judge a Bethesda game's story by, you know, pre-Inquisition BioWare's standards, right? You know, right? I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, it's not as good as BioWare, so it's a bad story. It's like, well,
Yeah, it's an unfair comparison.
yeah, you know, it's like, this is a Bethesda game. I'm gonna compare it to other Bethesda games.
No. I will say, I think comparing it to, oh my god, why can't I think? I think Cyberpunk's a pretty fair comparison.
No, it's really not. They're completely different in scope. That'd be like comparing fucking like Warhammer 3 to like XCOM. And it's like, well, you know, Warhammer 3 has a tactical map. It's like, yeah, it's a completely different game though.
I mean, here's the there's more similarities than differences, I would say. Right? Both are RPGs.
No, whoa. They're PGs.
Yeah.
Okay. That fine. Make the distinction. Both of them, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but it's like, but the other thing, yeah, I see a lot of these comparison videos between 2077 and Starfield is they're like, look at this content in Starfield. Now look at Act 1, back when they had funding of Cyberpunk 2077. It's like, well, yeah, literally like the first couple missions when they had all the fucking funding and weren't rushed at all. Yeah, wow, those missions turned out great and they were amazing set pieces with interactive dialogue and branching decisions. And I'm sorry, but if you go on and play the rest of Cyberpunk 2077, you know how many fucking missions there are with branching decisions? The last one. The last mission.
Leading up to it.
What?
There are a few leading up to it. Not many, but a few.
Not really. Not really. Yeah, okay, yeah, there's a decision. Oh, you can spare Goro, or whatever the fuck his name is here. Oh, you can go silent on this one mission here. It's like, okay. That's not really branching decisions, though. Because, I mean, you know, like, branching decisions is like, this mission ends with completely different characters being alive and or dead, and a completely different plot direction, which actually happens in the first couple missions of the game of Cyberpunk, where, you know, that Militech character, you know, is either with the company or not with the company, or they're dead in a fucking ditch. Literally, they're actually dead in a ditch. You can find them in a ditch.
Yeah, that part's pretty funny.
You know, like the leader of an entire gang changes based on your decisions during that mission, which affects gameplay later on, which is cool as shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's those few missions, that's it. Like, nothing else even remotely gets close to that in the rest of the game, besides the final mission.
Yeah.
Where you get your different endings. Like, even if you fuck, like, with the Pan Am mission, where you go to knock out the AV, and you can actually fuck up knocking out the AV, but then you just do an alternative route to do what it would have done anyway. And so nothing changes besides Pan Am's now angry at you.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah,
That was kind of dumb.
Yeah, so it's like, people are using all these examples from Cyberpunk to show why it's better than Starfield, but it's like, well, A, Cyberpunk's now been developed for 5 more years than Starfield has.
Yeah, well, it's been developed for 5 more years, and boy, did it need those 5 fucking years.
Oh, I'm not saying it didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, you know, the company didn't put the time and effort in, but again,
Oh, no, sorry. I was saying, like, if you compare... I will grant people this. If you were to compare launch...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, let's go with that. Yeah, launch Cyberpunk versus launch Starfield. It's like, motherfucker, you would be saying that Bethesda made a fucking masterpiece. But just because fucking Cyberpunk came out and actually fixed all their shit, now everyone's coming out being like, oh, well, just Starfield is actually just an inferior game. It's like, fuck you!
Starfield hasn't had that time to actually correct the mistakes they made.
Cyberpunk,
now,
but yes.
To be fair, there's an argument to be made.
Yeah, I won't say that.
Fucking game work in the first goddamn place, and that applies to both developers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but no, but yes. Unfortunately, all of these companies are owned by producers. They are not independent developers like Blizzard used to be back in the day. And so, like, to anyone who's aware of the story of Burning Crusade, they can't make those decisions. When the producer paying them their salary says, you release this game on X date, yeah, you can really hem and haw and maybe push it back, you know, a couple months, or maybe you can accidentally leak a copy of the game and show how fucking awful it is, and all the gamers get up and then they're angry and they're saying they're going to cancel their pre-orders. So then the producer says, oh, well, maybe you can have an extra year. When what you really need is 3.
You got some extra time. Yeah, it's like, look, if you want to talk about games that got, right, one of the best examples of this is Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Yeah.
Like, there was a game that got screwed over by
massively.
production.
Yeah. There was a lot of cut content.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, it's dumb, but, like, Knights of the Old Republic with the cut content mod versus not having the cut content mod is such an enormous difference.
Yeah, it's actually kind of wild, and it's really unfortunate. Again, you know, it is what it is. You know, the game studio does need money to run, and someone's got to pay those bills. And the producer wants to earn money, so they pay the bills so they can earn money. But producers don't understand how to make games, despite their title.
Don't release this product.
Some producers may very well understand how to make a game.
Yeah, but that's usually because they're also developers.
Their concern is to make money.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot wrong with the industry. There's a lot of bad setup going about, but, I mean, there's also a lot of bloat going on where someone's, like, making a fucking barrel instead of, like, you know, dialogue and shit. There's a lot to complain about, but no, like I said, I got 140 hours in Cyberpunk 2, 2077, and I got 200 hours in Starfield. I judged them by completely different metrics. I also don't know what people were fucking complaining about with Starfield crashing. I can understand the before the day one patch, because they actually did fix a lot of shit with the day one patch. But my Starfield crashed once in 200 hours. That was entirely my fault.
Sounds like you got lucky.
I guess, but like, you don't understand. Like, in the first 4 hours of starting an unmodded Fallout 4 game, I crashed like 7 times.
Yeah, that sounds about average for Bethesda.
Right, exactly. And you know, like, this isn't even like a, oh, well, you know, it's the creation engine's old and shit. It's like, no, motherfucker. I remember fucking Morrowind and Oblivion on the Xbox. Those games were not stable.
Oh, good God, no. But to be fair, those were PC games.
On the Xbox?
Yeah, they were ported.
My first encounter with the Bethesda games was on the Xbox. Fallout 3, Morrowind, and Oblivion. Obviously Morrowind first, and then Oblivion, then Fallout 3. And then New Vegas. And then I finally actually, for the first time, ever played a Bethesda game on the PC with Fallout 4.
Okay, you had to remember that the Xbox was specifically designed to be a standardized PC with a fucking controller, so...
Actually, Xbox was not designed with that in mind until... Was it the Xbox S, I believe? That was the Windows 8 version?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and even then, that was still not actually a PC operating system. That was a parallel operating system that used a majority of the PC code. It wasn't until Windows 10 did the Xbox system actually operate off of the same operating system as a computer did.
I know the modern incarnations are basically standardized PCs.
Yes.
Modern incarnations, absolutely.
Much different from the original Xbox.
Not at all.
Yeah. Anyway, so, gentlemen, are you ready?
No, but I don't suppose we have a choice.
No, you don't. Anyway, so let's get into it. So, I linked the picture here. We're going to talk about this for either a very quick moment, or I am going to rant about it for the next 45 minutes. Honestly, it's a dice roll when it comes to me. How you doing today, Max?
Max!
I'm going, I guess. I had to try and figure out what you guys were talking about halfway through your conversation.
Hey, don't worry about it. Moved on to a new topic.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so we have this picture here in front of us, and I have made sure to unmute myself and move it onto the screen. I am doing amazingly today.
Good job. So
proud of myself.
Clap.
Yep, everyone's unmuted. Besides Or, he's permanently muted.
Well, that's because of his crimes against audio.
Yes.
And he muted himself.
So anyway, so we have a absolutely fascinating conversation going on here. So we have purple and red. Kinda, we're regressing on sexism issues and LGBT issues. I don't know what he's really responding to here, but that doesn't matter, because what red says next completely shifts the conversation to something likely somehow even more ridiculous as to what purple was talking about. I honestly, when I first saw this being posted in the channel it was being posted in, I just assumed they were responding to something RT said about Ruby. But, you know. Sex positivity is good, actually, Red says. Purple says not with fictional characters. Red is confused. Purple says because fictional characters don't have agency. Red asks, when two characters have sex in a story, do you consider that to be sexual coercion by the author? Because they are forced to do it? Purple responds with the unironically, I do. Sex in stories is rape. Unless you are writing based on your own personal experiences and your fictional character is a self-insert, then the sex is rape. Because the author didn't ask those characters if they wanted to have sex.
Woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, do
Wow.
I have bad news for Sign's entire business model.
Yeah.
That's our business model was
Yeah.
based off of rape and sex.
I
trafficking.
have bad news for all of questionable questing, really.
Phew, yeah.
But
You know,
yeah.
no, you know what? You know what? I think I'm starting to see what the author's saying, Sneaky. They
Yeah.
might have a point.
No.
Listen, it would be a tragedy for fiction,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
if we lose Sign
Yeah.
and it kills QQ,
Yeah. It's gonna kill AO3 even harder.
I can always move on to write other things.
I think Sign is a acceptable sacrifice if AO3 goes down with it.
Yeah, I will say, Sign, that on the scales of weighing, sacrificing you to the internet gods to kill AO3, I'm sorry, but that's a good trade.
I don't think so. I was making money, damn it. On the other hand, those are some fucking DJs.
but again, here's the thing, right? We understand you can go other places, do other things.
Yeah. All of AO3 would just collectively commit suicide, I guess, or something. Reminder that Rooster Teeth unironically made the moral of an episode be, are things bad? Kill yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. They unironically made that the moral of an episode. Man, they are something special. Anyway. Yeah. If only they would take their own advice. Anyway. So yeah, this is a very wild take, and I had to explain to Oro what it was rooted in. It's when you are so divorced from reality that you spout certain political opinions, and fantasy and delusion become your normal reality. It is literally not even a leap. It's not even a step. It's like a fucking sleeper's shuffle to fictional characters have agency. It's not even like any effort expended to reach that point when you live in such a delusional world as these people. Of course, these are also usually the same people who the reason why they're saying these characters have agency is so it can fuel their pedophilic fetishes when they're jacking off to child porn.
Explain that.
Yeah.
Well, if the character has agency and they're looking at porn of, you know, this anime character that is clearly a child, literally written as a child, you know, age 6 years old, and it's a bunch of porn of them, you know, jacking off like the reader or some shit, they get to imagine that character is actually willingly doing that so they can get off to it.
So you're telling me that telling them that, hey, bud, it's just a fictional character actually turns them off?
Yes. because now they can imagine that it's actually a real child.
That's fucking dumb.
Welcome to people with extremely disturbing kinks and how they think. I unfortunately had to be around quite a number of them. Not pedophiles, thankfully, hopefully, but, you know, other such fetishes that I had to deal with, the individuals who held them for an extended period of time, and it made me want to punch all of them in the throat. I didn't.
If you know what they are, the problem there is that they're not keeping their shit to themselves.
No, that really was the majority of the issue I had with, I would say 99% of them, is I didn't need to know any of that information, but they shared it with me anyway.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's these people are also the same sorts of people who, if they aren't pedophiles, they do go on to also write real person fan fiction, because it's basically just the same thing, don't you know? Where the entire band takes turns railing them.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, those are things. Those are things that we have to deal with in this unfortunate subsection of humanity that writes fan fiction and consumes written media.
Also, remember, when you see this shit on, like, YouTube or Twitter or whatever, the people generally saying this, their likes are public. So when you go back and look at what they're liking, they tend to like a lot of questionable stuff.
Yeah, that's actually where we get the stats on people saying this sort of thing to pedophiles. Because when you go into their likes, it's just a bunch of porn of literal, admittedly anime, but literal children. And I don't mean, oh, well, they're 300 and they have a lolly body. I mean, literally, the character in question is a 5-year-old or some shit. And they publicly liked it because these people are just... they're something else.
These are the same morons who, when you post porn of admittedly a child character who has been aged up, they turn around and go, bro, that's literally a child. Excuse you. You do understand that people age as they grow, right? People mature. Yeah, they don't understand that concept.
No, of course I don't understand the concept. They want to fuck the child. Oh, God. I think my favorite one recently was some Twitter user tried to start up a riot against Pikami again, or Henya as she goes by now, I guess. And because you know she's literally a child model, blah, 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 blah. Then you go into their likes, and there was literally a picture of a child version of Henya getting rammed by a dick in their likes.
Of course.
No contradictions here.
And it's like, bruh.
Your likes are public, bro.
Oh, God. Anyway. So, with all that being said, let's get on to the fan fiction tonight.
Yes, as if it couldn't get worse.
Well, of course it'll get worse, but the real question is, how is it going to get worse tonight? You know what? Actually, you know what's like? Is there any way we can get Chin in here?
Let me see if he's awake.
So, to those unaware, Chin Lamp is Sign's infamous beta from all the way back in the days of the Forbidden Times.
The thing that I didn't write ever.
Yes. And I also have to say, speaking of Chin, man, your server has a really bad habit of not reading what I write. And then getting angry about it and arguing with me with it. And then, like 30 minutes later, they'll finally go back and actually read what I wrote and be like, oh, you're right. It's like, yes.
I don't think that applies exclusively to my server or to you specifically. That's just people in general, man.
No, honestly, I have never had that kind of conversation on this server or Arn's server.
Was it Crow?
Usually it's Crow, Takano, Chin Lamp did it, Trench Toast did it. Pretty much everyone that's active on your server that is exclusively from your server has done it to me, well, at least once.
I think it's just you. Also, doesn't look like he's awake right now. He's in
Unfortunate.
Australia, so I mean, it's like, what, 5 a.m., 4 a.m. there?
Oh, so what you're saying is that on
well, no,
Fridays
hang on.
when Kaz can show up.
Yeah, that doesn't stop Kaz from showing up on Tuesdays sometimes.
That's true, yeah.
Also, you gotta remember, the dude works security, so he's probably actually at work right now.
True. Yeah. Unfortunate. I would have really liked to torture him. Show him some really god-awful Fate stories. Actually, you know what? Let's go look at the Fate stories. How bad could they really be?
Oh, come on. You know the answer to that
I think you know the answer to that.
I do know the answer to that, but I also kind of want to find out again, because honestly, I haven't looked at the Fate section in a long time. Oh.
So you need a fucking reminder.
Yeah, well, and with Samurai
Actually, I blanked it out, because apparently we have looked at the Fate section recently.
By the way, everyone, just remember, we need
Oh,
to be...
we did, yeah, just a week or two ago.
Yeah, I
did.
blanked that out.
Although Samurai Remnant released between then and now, so maybe there's been an upsurge.
Maybe.
Oh, no.
That's true. Anyway, what were you saying, Ed?
I was going to say, let's all remember, we need to send Gray our energy because the man is currently assembling a Warhound Titan.
Oh, is he doing that right this instant?
Yes.
I feel like that's just his problem.
Yeah, that's a great problem.
Yeah.
He did get rods to reinforce things, right?
I mean, he can always print one,
I hope he did.
right?
He can always what, Sneaky?
Print one?
Well, he can now, but this is a legitimate one he got.
Yeah. He got it off eBay.
For apparently a really good price.
No, I mean, he can always print, like, reinforcing rods.
Oh, no. No, I've seen the look of those things. You're gonna want to get brass rods that are like 1/4 inch thick.
What the fuck are you building? You need
You
1/4
don't
inch
want
brass
to
rods.
reinforce resin with resin.
Wait. Sir, do you not know the glory of the
Do you not know
glory
about
of
the
the Warhound
toddler?
Titan?
I
No,
know.
what's
I'll
funny-
read this.
Do you not know
funny
about the
is-
toddler-sized 40k unit?
You know, of course we're
That's what it
fucking
is.
talking. Of course we're fucking talking about a Warhammer Titan, and that's when Nose joins in.
Yeah.
Yeah, go look at that. By the way,
Maybe
go look at what they're
this is-
charging you for just the body. No guns, just the body.
Yeah, this thing is
Fucking-
roughly the
The
size.
worst
of
part
Tom.
is, I'm pretty sure that thing's harder to build than. Like,
Gray
my
spent
Titan,
more on
literally
that
because-
thing than my entire month's rent.
Yeah.
No,
that's-
no, Sneaky. This is the Warhound Titan.
This is not the funny Titan.
Oh,
This is just the Warhound Titan. This
This
isn't
is-
the
this
top
This is
funny.
the one, Sneaky. This is the 1-footer, not the toddler.
The toddler you can't even really play in actual games.
You can't play it in a game of 40k.
the average male ejaculation is 787 megabytes of data. Oh, per sperm.
Yeah, no, Sneaky. What you're thinking of is the Warlord Titan, the one that's 2 feet tall.
Ah, yes, okay. Yes.
That is
Sneaky,
$650.
that one is in fact a month's rent. It is $18.35.
Did Gray buy that one as well?
No,
Okay.
no. He only bought the Scout Titan.
No, he got the files, I think, for the large one for printing purposes.
So
But either
like
way,
this,
like I'm not reinforcing that much resin with more resin. That's getting brass rods.
so this motherfucker doesn't even come with the arms.
Correct.
No.
Because there's a variety of separate arms that you can purchase.
Yeah.
What was the final total once you had one battle ready? Something like 3,000 or
Yeah,
so.
something around there. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, this is your average Warhammer modelist. You got to keep in mind the people that buy Warhammer models are either completely purchasing them outside of their capability of doing so, like Nosehair, or they are working an absurd job that's paying them an absurd level of money, and so they just throw it at fucking Warhammer. Like,
Hang
Greg.
on a minute. There's the third category of me, who spends responsibly.
Excuse you, I spend responsibly. Fuck you.
You bought a Gorgonaut that you thought was a gift.
Yeah, GW pricing is absolute horseshit, and anyone who defends it is.
Oh
just
no, it's absolutely
themselves.
horseshit. Also, I did actually have funds available for that.
Yeah, wasn't that called your rent?
No, I work to pay my rent. And by that I mean I literally work for family to pay my rent.
Okay.
Well, at least a street corner.
Yeah. I mean,
And go
hey,
fuck yourself.
Alabama, I guess.
Go fuck yourself. Whoever said that, fuck you. Go die in a hole and kill yourself.
Listen, Nose's family is perfectly polite, unless you're Nose.
Yes, true. Same with my family.
Thanks for fucking.
No, Nose, your family's pretty rude to you.
My family's perfectly fine with me.
They have never been perfectly fine to you when I am in the building, Nose.
Possibly the funniest event ever was when Rob came over for a sleepover one night, and my stepmother greeted him, just, you know, like fucking cotton candy and roses, and treated him with cotton candy and roses the entire time. And then I came upstairs for something at one point, and she forgot that he was downstairs in the basement. And she just fucking started screaming at me. And then he comes upstairs, he's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Oh, fuck."
I would
thus
say
the scales
my
fell
real
from his
question
eyes.
to Nose is this. How is Commissar Dean's outfit going?
That's the real questions he's asking here. The fan fiction of real life. Cosplay.
I hate that I can't argue against that.
No, but really, how is Commissar Dean's outfit going, Nose?
It's going. I'm still waiting for shit to come in the mail.
Because, by the way, I want to point out how, like, unironically.
Oh, by
Nosehair
the way,
has
thanks
super
for
cool
using
parrots.
thanks for using actual names, by the way.
What? I called him Dean.
Ah, yes. Commissar Dean. Truly a searchable name. So they're homing in on your IP address as we speak.
I don't know, dude. Some people in this fucking Discord.
Knows the amount of times that both my name and your real name have been used on this show should be of much greater concern to you than me stating Commissar Dean.
No, it is
That's
absolutely
true
still a
facts.
concern to me. It is still a concern to me.
Well, unfortunately, we will never become popular, so you'll never have to worry about someone going through our documents.
Oh, good.
That's true.
So, in this case, saying federal agents, I believe everything that is said in this podcast won't get me in trouble.
I will not give up the names of my co-conspirators.
I'm pretty sure my federal agent is already listening.
Hello, federal agents. Please
No,
come into
well,
my
no.
door.
To be fair, the federal agent listening to Sign is very different from the federal agent listening to Sneaky.
This is a true
Yeah.
fact.
Nah, listen. Bob is a perfectly nice person.
I
Okay?
didn't say Bob isn't a perfectly nice person. I said whoever's assigned to Sign
Very
is assigned
different
to a very
division.
different set of
Yeah.
tasks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It has some overlap, I'm sure.
No. You're not a
Plot
terrorist.
twist is that Bob hates whoever's assigned to you.
That
The
would indeed
overlap
be
is literally
fascinating.
talking shit about you.
Indeed.
Yes.
Anyway, so let's see here. To relearn the joys of life, a Fate Stay Night Persona series crossover with 7K word chapters updating at a respectable rate of, 11 chapters in the span of 3 months. It's pretty respectable, yeah. However, unfortunately, like many a story we find with such prodigious writing rates, the plot leaves a lot to be desired. With the successful change of heart of Kane Shiro, Amiyama Yana Ren felt the Phantom Thieves were doing pretty good. However, when a long-absent returning student comes in and immediately tries to make her way into the group, Joker is far from imagining how deep the mysteries and burdens she carries run. Cross-posted to AO3. And you know who it features? It's fucking Ritsuka from FGO.
Cringe.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
That'd be fun
Behold the endless abyss of cringe.
Yeah. It's pretty awful, honestly. I'm not really sure why you want to do a Persona dive into a completely bland character with next to no characterization in the actual series. Because from what I've seen of FGO, like 90% of the characterization of the main character of FGO comes from the comics and animations that people make, which is
It's the
all
author insert
fucking
character.
headcanon. Well, I'm aware it's the
Oh,
author
I mean,
insert.
No, to be fair,
well-
the movies add quite a bit of characterization.
Yeah, but the movies are also different from the animation, which is
Yeah.
different from manga, which is different from the learning with FGO manga, which is different from like 3 different interpretations within the community.
Yeah.
Okay, the learning with FGO manga isn't real.
Oh dear, I've gone cross-eyed from
Oh, it
trying to think
is,
about
and
it.
it's very degenerate.
Yes.
I know.
Of course it's degenerate. It's
Like
Fate
the
Go.
main game has some characterization, but because that's thrown between like no less than 6 different writers, that characterization can fluctuate quite a bit. Looking at you, Agartha, you fucking piece of shit story.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I hate that chapter so much. It's so bad.
Breach. That chapter was utter
We
garbage.
discovered several fetishes of the author for that chapter that they decided to.
Was it
superimposed
feet?
on the player base.
Which chapter?
It's one of
Was
the
feet-
extra chapters in between Singularities and Lost Spell.
Was it feet?
Yeah.
A lot of things.
There was a
Fandom.
lot of ooh-woing over Astolfo.
Of course.
Over
And-
Astolfo.
And oh god, I can't remember the first name, but it's Daon who
Chevalier Daon.
and yeah, Chevalier Daon. It's like, listen, man, you have your kinks. Please don't impose them on the writing of a make your choice game, please.
No.
Disturbing.
Stop inserting your fetishes into our game.
Yuck.
Miyazaki, please stop putting 32 bones in the shoeless women's feet.
I will make 1 billion polygons inside this one robot girl's ass.
And just the official response is just that one like deer scare thing, and it's just like translated to "fuck off."
I have no
That's
idea
his
what you're
response.
from. Yeah.
It's you know what? It's a different joke.
I
Anyway.
will never forget the day Yoko Taro told someone to die for getting their girlfriend to do cosplay
Yes, that was
of
great.
2B.
I what?
Yeah, so
How did I
basically,
miss that? I knew he told some people to die because they asked why you could upskirt people.
this guy tweeted at Yoko Taro saying, "Hey Yoko Taro, I got my girlfriend to do cosplay of 2B. Here it is," and he sent him pictures. And Yoko Taro's just like, "Die! You have a girlfriend. Be gone."
Normally explode.
Oh,
I found it.
Normie,
Well, though,
Normie
that's him
perish.
shitposting.
Yeah,
I was trying to remember. I'm
Is
like,
it?
oh.
yeah,
right,
no,
Yoko Taro
literally,
was-
I don't want to hear this. I hope all cool good guys die, except for the girlfriends. I want them to remain.
Based.
Yeah. yeah,
Yoko Taro.
is cool. The most successful developers in Japan are some of the weirdest people.
They are
no matter the
Yoko.
context.
He fucking wears that goddamn headpiece everywhere.
Remember,
Well,
this
no,
is
he actually has a reason for
this-
that. He wants to preserve his anonymity.
Yes.
To
This
be
is the
fair,
one
I
who
can't
said
exactly
send
blame him
him
on that one
the-
for the one.
Send him the 2B porn. He didn't want to have to look for it anymore. Just send him the whole thing.
Oh no, like that's a full-on Twitter
Oh,
page
yeah,
still. Yeah.
That was, yeah, no, that was just like, okay, guys, you're making too much. Could someone just compile it weekly and send me the zip?
Yeah, no, literally he follows
did.
a Twitter page that is just called like Yoko Taro's weekly zip file or some shit. And
He is
That's-
great. He's
That's
great.
funny.
it's literally
I mean-
just all of the porn that came out for his games in the past week.
This man knew what he was doing when he made
It's
2B and A2.
Of course he did.
It's just 2B fan art. That's it. That's all it was.
What an
Oh,
absolute
just
mad
2B,
bag.
He was
okay.
in it. He wanted it. Yeah, like Yoko Taro is the weirdo he is. There's Swery 51. Kojima.
Nomura unfortunately exists.
The absolute Chad that is Harada for Tekken.
You cannot convince me otherwise. I think the entirety of Studio Trigger is on cocaine.
Oh no, they are.
No, there are.
Yeah, no question.
There's probably a little bit more added to that.
They do.
Also, I don't know if you guys heard, there will be a second Cyberpunk anime done by Studio Trigger.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, more depression.
Yes.
You know what? If it's not a, if it's not fixing the end of Edge Runners, I don't want it.
Yeah, I agree.
That-
If Becca doesn't
that-
leave, I
Max,
don't want it.
I'm
That
very
didn't
sorry to tell
hurt
you.
So
Max,
much.
I'm
It
very
was
sorry to
so-
tell you. There are no good ends in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, there's actually
Oh.
no good ends in Cyberpunk.
No, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. The Johnny the ending where you let Johnny have your body is pretty good.
That is the
No.
okay. You know what? Actually, now that you say that, given that there's really only been 2 forms of media from Cyberpunk recently that anyone actually cares about, then there actually might be something.
Okay, but that's not like that's from a
Well, to be-
rationalization perspective. That's not from a perspective of the character.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people are now going like, I don't like all these like depressing endings. I want something.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I was actually talking about this with someone who's currently writing a Cyberpunk story that I am assisting in doing so, and they want to post it as an official published story.
Mhm.
We were talking about this, and unfortunately, the inherent part of Cyberpunk is there is a depressing undertone to it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, obviously it was made back in the 80s, and then it got Neuromancer was the 80s, right?
Something like
Yeah.
that.
And then it regained popularity alongside NASA Punk in the 90s.
Well, I feel like there was a period in the 90s where, right, you had Cyberpunk, you had Shadowrun.
But
and I
that's
feel
what
like
I'm
a
saying
lot
though.
of
It's
that
like
was
the
driven by
Shadow one,
fate.
the new Shadowrun was the resurgence of Cyberpunk, and before the '90s, Cyberpunk was very dystopian, gritty, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the '90s introduced the neon. It introduced the zigzag, the fucking wacky fashion of the '90s into Cyberpunk, and it made it a little bit more lighthearted. But even then, I mean, even in like literally in old Shadowrun and new Shadowrun, and even in the newest games for Shadowrun, you still don't get happy endings in the majority. Like, you have to do a very specific series of precise actions in each of the Shadowrun games that just came out, in terms of Shadowrun's lifespan, that just came out, to get the quote-unquote good ending for each of them.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it any less that we want to see the good ending.
Right, but my point is more along the lines of good endings really don't happen, especially in these settings, because it has the trope, the truism, I guess you could say at this point, of, live by the sword, die by the sword. These characters in these settings are usually, against the law, pissing off a lot of powerful individuals, getting into high stakes, high, reward, scenarios, and eventually, eventually it's going to catch up to them.
Yeah.
And you don't really get to have happy endings when you live that kind of life. Because even if you do somehow you personally somehow live, somehow despite everything you live, there is a great chance none of the people you know will.
Yeah.
And so now you're old and alone, and everyone's gunning for you if they ever find out who you really are. You literally become the Hitler in Argentina meme.
Yeah.
So,
wasn't there like I don't know if I should say spoilers or not, but I thought there was
It's been years.
There was one like thing, if you talk to one of the handlers and told them that you killed Adam Smasher, he'll just like say thank you. I think that was after the patch that added a few things from Edge Runners.
You literally couldn't, because the game ends.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was like an after thing if you let Johnny take over.
So when you beat the game with one of the endings, it'll bring you back to before you did the mission.
Really? I thought there was...
Yeah, no, there's no way.
So with Phantom Liberty coming out, they did add another ending in. Which, by the way, the best ending to the canon game...
They added 2.
What was the second one?
I don't know. I just know that the online publication said that it adds 2 endings.
Okay, I guess it's a save Songbird, kill Songbird ending. Anyway, point being is that there is a device at the end of Phantom Liberty that kills Johnny and fully saves you. However, you go into a coma because of this. You wake up out of the coma years later. You can't use cyberware anymore. And technically, this is the best ending for V.
But it's not the best ending for everyone else.
Well, I mean, and no one else is actually genuinely affected.
I mean, if you hooked up with someone, they'll be in kind of a rough spot.
Right, but they're going to be in a rough spot no matter what, for every other ending as well. So,
Yeah.
But will probably be in the best position.
Well, here's the thing: is it's the best ending for the city itself, because that's also something that you can take.
No. Your ending. V
You
has
killing Adam Smasher
zero effect on
has
the
you have zero effect on Arasaka. Like Arasaka, nothing. What does it matter? Oh yeah, okay. Arasaka lost a bunch of employees in this one single city that they only have a branch office in. That doesn't affect them.
Oh, wait a minute. I just remember something. Doesn't Adam Smasher have A, multiple bodies, and B, the ability to upload himself
No.
between them?
No, that's from
no.
that's
Adam
that's
Smasher
that's fanon.
is dead. He is dead.
Yeah,
dead.
he dies. You kill him.
You straight up changed the nature of Cyberpunk that Adam Smasher is no longer around and can do Arasaka's work. That's like the one thing I could say is technically permanent because they'd have to get a new Adam Smasher.
They can't.
Yeah,
I mean,
they can't
Well,
because he was
they-
like
they
a
have
1
to
in a
get a-
billion.
Well, they have
person.
to get a new Adam Smasher, quote unquote. They'd have to get a new enforcer.
Yeah, but Adam Smasher was literally like a 1 in a billion sort of person.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, so is V and David.
David was a
no.
1 in a million sort of person.
David was a 1 in a million. There is very little. V does not have. Yes, before the update, you could have been like, V has some kind of amazing
No.
tolerance for cyberware. Not anymore.
No.
You don't.
No,
The reason
actually-
why the reason why V is able to handle all the cyberware is because he literally has 2 brains.
No, it's literally literally he can handle all the cyberware. Not because he has 2 brains, but because he has a relic in his brain constantly healing it.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, literally.
Yeah.
Cyberpsychosis develops from a lot of things, but one of the main issues that all of the scenarios all agree on is cyberpsychosis is most frequent in people who have neural degradation. What causes it, how it comes about, the various effects of it, all completely dependent on the person. How long it takes for it to affect them, all completely dependent on the person. But it all comes down to neural degradation. V's relic that is in his brain, that's overwriting his brain with Johnny's personality, is quite literally a device meant to heal the brain. So, he can't have neural degradation in the same way that would produce cyberpsychosis, because his brain's currently being healed, air quotes, into Johnny's brain.
His neural degradation is Johnny.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, to be clear,
Does that make Johnny his tulpa?
Yeah. Now, I think something else is important to point out. Because of the way that Relic is supposed to function,
Yeah.
Johnny would maintain that same level of
Stability.
Cyberware stability because the whole point of the Relic is to be constantly setting the brain back to whatever its correct state is.
Which is a very interesting take, because the brain forms memories and connections by altering itself in minute ways, and if you have a relic constantly resetting the brain to the moment the snapshot was taken, can you really say that you're a person anymore?
Well, then he's living off the relic as a flash drive, and the brain itself is just wetware meat.
Well, yes, but my point being is that if your brain is constantly being reset back to, point zero where you created the system restore, then are you really capable of changing who you are?
If the relic updates, then yes. If not, then
How would the
no.
relic update?
Yeah, it would depend on how the relic updates.
Well, the relic updates by ripping your brain apart at an atomic level.
If it's mapping your brain and the changes made temporarily as you develop new memories, then yes, the relic could change.
Yeah, I don't think it does right now. I think right now, as they have it in lore...
Johnny, no, because we know it does. Now, this might be a special case, right? But you can, on the right story path, see Johnny experience personality, right? Actual growth as a human being.
Yes, but they do say it seems more like you're bleeding into Johnny than Johnny actually changing.
That's possible, but I mean, even at the very end, the Johnny ending,
Like I said, personally
Some of that.
speaking, I think the Blazing Saddle ending is the best ending. I don't know what it's actually
Which one's
called.
that?
That's the one where you wait 5 minutes and say, fuck it, let's go.
Oh yeah, the Johnny ending.
Well, no, it's not the Johnny ending, because you don't give over to Johnny. You just...
No, I mean the I mean the ending where you speak to Johnny.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
like,
Yeah, you say, fuck it, we ball.
Yeah.
Isn't that the no? That's the Don't Fear the Reaper ending, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Don't Fear the Reaper, yeah.
Yeah, Sneaky's like, I don't know the real name, which he didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's the fuck it we ball it.
it's fantastic.
I think
Because-
the best part of that ending is the fact you can't save.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is the put your money where your mouth is.
It's literally the hardest difficulty version of the game end, and you can't save during it. And if you die during that ending, you actually get a different 5th ending. You're dumb, you lose ending.
Oof.
Also, there's some even better stuff to that. I think the best part of that is you reach the bottom floor and there's an Arasaka security guard who goes, "How is one guy doing this?" immediately before you shoot him in the fucking head.
Yeah, it's great. It's good shit. I love it.
Like the voice actor who did that read knew exactly what they were doing.
Also, I will say that is another thing I will agree with Starfield. The overlap there is that Starfield was aware and did have the characters comment occasionally on that. And I thought that was nice. That was a nice little touch, versus a lot of RPG games where they're just like, go here and do this, and you like genocide a whole village and they're like, great, thank you for doing the service to the people. Yay. And it's like, in Starfield, at one point in Starfield, you're told to go fight these war veterans who are terrors of the galaxy because of how dangerous and deadly they are, and you kill all of them on your way to fight the final boss who leads them. And the final boss, when you finally get to him, is just like, he puts his gun down for a second, he's like, look, holy fuck. You just killed a battalion of war veterans from the worst war humanity's ever had. Jesus Christ. I still
You know
have to
what?
kill you, but
I give up.
goddamn. No, he doesn't give
No,
up. He's gonna go out guns blazing. But
Okay.
he's just like, I just want to acknowledge what in the goddamn fuck.
What are you on? And can I get some?
And then there's another point where you kill something called a terror morph, and the NPC is just like, you killed that alone.
Yeah, I kind of wish in Fallout 4 they would actually go, oh, hey, you killed a fucking Deathclaw. Good job. No,
Yeah.
it's just like, watch
Yeah.
out, Blue, it's a Deathclaw. Oh, okay, we're good.
Literally, there was a moment where you tell another NPC that you killed the terramorph they sent you to go, find out about, and they're like, that was a scouting mission. You were supposed to scout.
I scouted it aggressively.
You know that we had a whole platoon of Marines waiting to deploy to kill this thing. And
Yeah, I solved
you
your
killed
problem.
it alone?
Solved the
Without
problem.
vehicle support? Yes.
We
You
solved
What the
problem.
fuck?
I really wish that if you had some kind of soldier, I wish that if you had the soldier background, there isn't like the smarmiest option to just go, so that wasn't recon in force?
Yes.
I will give them, there is moments where some of the extrovert, introvert, soldier background, medic background, like all those things actually do come into play in dialogue choices. Now, not always the best, and some of the ones I saw for extrovert were like not extrovert stuff. Like, they had a character at one point, the whole conversation was just you doing, like, mega autismo dialogue with them with the extrovert tag, and it's like, what the fuck?
That sounds more like introvert.
What the fuck are you posting now?
What happened this time?
Well, Hestia screeched, alerting Bell. Bell, Kun. What is this? Hestia asked, shaking. Bell gulped as he thought. Was it in fact that he died twice, or the fact that he somehow alive, though both were the same thing? He didn't tell her, as she might hate him knowing that he left those adventurers to their own devise, even after full well knowing what would happen to them. What? Also, that's another thing I see a lot of Don Machi stories kind of gloss over. The gods see everything you did when they update the fauna.
Yeah.
That's literally part of their entertainment.
Well, your specific god sees what you did.
Well, yeah, but that's my point, though, is if you went and fucking died twice, your fauna recorded that shit. You're not keeping that a secret.
I'm more trying to come to terms with the idea that Bell would abandon someone in need, especially after just discovering he can't die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
what happened?
it's because reasons, don't you know? Goddess, it's, see this? Bell collected himself and looked at his status and almost had a heart attack. That's right, his stats went from L13 to E400 and L10 to B762 and Dex 16 to D554 and Agility 22 to B719. Honestly, that's another thing I really fucking hate about Don Machi, is that no one can agree how the numbers are supposed to be written. I see some people state, you know, they'll cite like the game and the manga and the phone game and the manga. They're like, oh well, you see, according to these, the numbers go up to 99 and then you upgrade the letter level. Or, well, according to this, it's, oh, well, actually, the number only goes up to 99, and depending on that number, you get assigned a letter level. It's like, no one can fucking agree how that shit's actually supposed to work.
I'm pretty sure it's like every 100 is the next alphabet letter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was set in stone in, like, the fucking light novel, exactly how it works.
Yeah, well,
I think by
tell
end
the
of
fan
volume
base
2,
that.
Like, by the end of
The
volume
fan base
2, you
doesn't
had
pay
enough
attention and you know
examples.
it.
So it's like you start at, what is it? You start
0.
at I, and then it goes up.
Yeah.
So, like, once you hit 100, now you're at H. Hit 200, now you're at G, and until
Some
you
shit
reach
like that, yeah.
999 for S.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like whatever, but
and then those reset when you level up. Which, by the
Yes.
way, I want
Stack.
to meet the level 6 who just refused to go to his to their god, because like, nah, I'm gonna grind my stats.
well,
and
see,
we're
that's
not
the other
leveling
thing
up
is as
until
far as
I
I'm
hit
aware, you aren't
999.
forced to level up.
No, you're not.
You are not.
You're
Yeah.
not.
It is
But
optional.
I just want to meet that level 6 adventurer who maxed out his stats every level, because there are heavy implications at least in the early volumes, that those stats do carry over. even
Yes,
though
they do.
reset.
Oh, they absolutely
they
carry
absolutely,
over.
yeah, it becomes your foundation for your next level. Which,
Yes.
we all know exactly the kind of character that would do that. It's Goblin Slayer.
Yes.
Well, that or it's gonna be Otar, the only level 7 adventurer in all 3.
Yeah, Mr.
Also-
fucking Goblin Slayer out here, never leaving floor 1 because he has to murder every goblin. And you also never got a level up because, you know, Goblin Slayer.
Local
I
man
do want to point
refuses
one
to
thing,
have
right?
killing
There's
goblins.
one thing that I think
it's
is
just
important.
like, it's been 6 months. Where have you been?
Killing
I
goblins.
thought Don Machi Fic actually did that with Bell. It was kind of interesting, but it died.
I'd
Where
rather
have you
be
been for the
Goblin
past
Slayer,
couple
I'll be
days,
real.
goblins?
I would rather it just be Goblin Slayer, and
Goblins.
Bell just runs into him. It's like, what do you do? How long have you been down here, man? What have you been eating?
Goblins.
Goblins.
Goblin Slayer comes up from the first floor. Oh, you're back. What happened? Floor's taken over. What? Load shotgun. Floor's taken over.
Where did he get that?
Goblin
Floor's
Slayer's
haunted. What do you
absolutely
mean the floor is haunted?
Floor's haunted.
Shotgun. Floor's haunted. With what? Ghost goblins.
Oh, he would absolutely just live on floor 4. I think that's where like goblins and orcs are super common. He would just live on that floor. There would just be rumors
Yeah.
and stories.
No, here's what I would think. I think would be great. He lives on floor 4 until Bell comes back from like floor 30 and tells him about the even deeper floor full of bigger goblins.
Then proceeds to then murder goblin his way down to that floor.
Well, you know, he's a.
You
Even
just
though-
reminded me of the Ruby Don Machi fic where John
No,
refused
no,
to
no, no.
level up
We're not
to
talking
pad
about
his
that.
stats that died after John fought Otter. Well, I mean, I can't imagine why he would ever possibly fight against the strongest enemy currently available in Don Machi.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're talking about decent Danmachi stories.
Well, where?
I'm sure. Sign. Find us. Surely you know of some.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Sign, we summon you.
Yeah, there used to be a couple, and we used to follow them, and now they're dead because the author had a fucking schizophrenic fit over people not appreciating a chapter of sex he wrote about a girl being dosed with drugs so she would accept being sexed.
Ah, yes. That story.
Yeah,
That doesn't have any undertones to it at all.
No. And the author couldn't possibly understand why anyone would have a problem with that sort of chapter.
I
The,
don't understand
the
why people are mad about this.
aphrodisiac was only helping her reach that state. It's like, yeah, and so were the fucking roofies.
I heard someone mention silent.
What?
What?
We were just
Yesterday.
talking. Yeah, Silent Fox. Yeah. Yeah, well,
Yes.
yeah, we were just talking about his story where he went onto a schizophrenic fit because he didn't understand why people weren't exactly enthused with the semi-implied rape chapter of sex.
Okay, no, go back and reread every single one of my comments in that thread.
Oh, I did.
What? Do I even want to know what happened? In what Sign said? Obviously, I know what happened in the chapter. I read the chapter.
Basically, Sign did a lot of call-outs because a lot of the people calling out the chapter itself are all being really retarded in how they phrase their arguments.
I see.
Yeah. It's like
So-
the person that, like, you know, it's like the person that it's like the person that sits there and goes, oh man, you know, ESG, that's that diversity stuff. It's like, well, it's actually not, but you're sort of right. But it's like really fucking complicated because technically they're wrong, but they've reached the correct conclusion. Yeah. It's one of those moments. And they're also not able to actually explain why they're right. And the more they explain why they're right, the more wrong they sound.
Mm.
Yeah. Personally, I stated this before, I am of the view of any sort of assisted sex is a little bit scuff.
Just a little bit, he says.
No, okay, like, look, let's say both people agree beforehand, sober, to go in, and both of them are a little hesitant. They both take some shots. That's about the most assistance that I'll be like that I'm willing to accept, is both people still making an informed decision.
No, and like I said, it's a little bit scuff. She went there for sex. She took drugs unknowingly, sort of, for
Yeah,
the
right,
sex.
See, to me, that's a really important part of the problem, is unknowingly, right?
It's sort of unknowingly.
No, like, went and drank? Sure, that's one thing. Was completely unaware that there was an aphrodisiac in the drink, right?
Yeah, no, that's insane. It's like, if you're going to a brothel for sex and you end up taking a drug unknowingly that assists you in encouraging the sex that you went to the brothel for, is that really? It's like,
I would say the answer is yes, because you chose to go there. You didn't choose to ingest whatever the substance is, right?
Right, no, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, I can understand why people are having problems with this chapter.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bigger problem wasn't the drug. That was just the excuse people used. The bigger problem was Tanya getting dicked when they thought she was going to be the one doing the dicking.
I have many questions and I don't want them
What?
answered.
That was not the
Okay.
conclusions. That was not the conclusion I was drawing from what
That
I was.
was exactly the conclusion I got after reading over the whole thing and everybody talking about
Okay,
it.
well, I will have to caveat what I said with the statement. Every time someone started talking fetish shit, I just ignored it and only read posts that involved actual arguments and didn't just sit there and be like, my fetish was violated.
Yeah, that's the problem, is because you're ignoring those people, and those are the ones making the biggest complaints. Is
Well,
them
yeah,
complaining
it's
about
because their
being
fetish was,
violated.
yeah, because, yeah.
The ones with the drug weren't the problem. Actually, I've got PMs with silent folks
No,
about that. Let me look.
he threw a piss fit about the drug people.
Yeah, he got a little annoyed about it.
He threw a piss fit. Now you'll tell me that he was a fucking degenerate as well. I don't know.
Well, the story immediately after this one ended up being a bestiality Pokemon fix, so...
And I don't need to hear anymore.
Okay, here we go. Hang on.
Thank you for the explanation. I don't want to hear it. Thank you.
Anyway, while he's posting that, yeah, okay, I feel like people are missing out on a major portion of Tanya's character in that she abides by what is socially acceptable. Yeah. Which is where I was going with for most of my posts. What people in society view as acceptable is how she morphs her current standards. Yes. Tanya is a chameleon that learns what is and isn't acceptable and then adapts from there. Yes. All while trying to become a trendsetter when it suits her purposes and will benefit her.
Well, I'm not wrong again.
Examples?
Canon.
When?
The light novel.
Oh, the light novel, which specifically has a very unique interpretation of Tanya that is completely separate from both the manga and anime. Yes, of course, that light novel. Yes,
They're all separate from each other, Sneaky.
yes, but my point is more along the lines that he is drawing on a certain AU version of Tanya that a majority of people would probably not have ever encountered.
That is a problem I have run across before because most people just watch the anime and they're
And
like,
yes,
"Wait,
also
what?"
the common post of, I can't believe you're posting in first and third person. You should pick one already. You're garbage at writing.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
It's almost
Um,
like perspective changes are a thing.
well, it
Well, no,
especially
it's
is
almost
in,
like Tanya disassociates.
yeah, it's almost like Tanya actually does that in the light novel quite often when she wants to disassociate her actions from herself because she views herself as two people, the body of Tanya and the mind of the salaryman.
Yeah.
So a lot of
I
people
was
who have
more-
never seen the light novel won't understand any of that because that is something unique only to the light novel. And fairly unique in terms of writing style in general. But we'll ignore the trendsetter part for now because it does have basis in a reality.
Like pulling teeth on that one.
Yes. It was why I was focusing on the whole. More, my opinion is just it's like Pottermore versus the Harry Potter books for what is canon. Technically speaking, both should be considered canon.
One of
However,
them is fucking stupid.
one of them is far more popular than the other. And you can't really blame someone for knowing Harry Potter but then not knowing of Pottermore.
Which is fair.
And so whenever they make statements about the extremely unpopular one that conflicts with that canon, you can't really be like, oh, well, they don't know all of the canon. It's like, well, one of them's very obscure, the other's well known.
Well, okay, it's not that it conflicts with the light novel, it's that it's missing all. The anime is missing all of the internal stuff. It
As
gets
per
the
usual.
external stuff right. Yes, as per usual.
Also,
exactly.
Max, speaking of the anime missing all of the internal amazing dialogue, I saw someone compilate a Shiro quotes about Rin from the light novel.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
no.
probably. Oh, that's probably a little scuzzy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some amazing quotes in that picture are, I am going to fuck Rin until she pisses herself.
That's great.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, so I read Fate Stay Night through a website that cut all those scenes out. I'm assuming that's from the H scene.
Yes.
Yes.
He's having a wet dream in the school for some reason.
No. This is when he's actually fucking
Yeah,
Rin
this is when
during
he's
the
actually
Sandtrix-
fucking Rin, yeah.
during the prana
Oh.
exchange.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
It's when he decides he doesn't care that she's saying no, please stop. He's gonna do it anyway.
What the fuck?
There's also another line of, I don't care how much she cries, her pussy says yes, or some shit.
Yes. It's great.
I don't think that's great, buddy.
I don't think
It's
that's
hilarious.
I don't think that's
Some fucking wild lines from the light novel.
Doctor had some real problems.
Yeah, so, speaking of lost context. Oh, God. Anyway. It's why I focus on the whole society thinks versus what Tanya thinks. We all have a pretty decent idea of how Tanya reacts, but we don't know for certain. Fair. We do know how we as people would react, but Tanya's situation isn't clear-cut. She's logical, rational, and very much dislikes not being in control. I can only really agree to that last one. I would say maybe rational as well. I would say if you ever sat down and pointed out Tanya's actions to Tanya rationally and not from an emotional appeal, she would admit that a lot of her actions were not logical.
They made sense to her in the moment for things she needed to do, but if you went back and looked at it, it'd be like, what was I thinking?
Yes, a lot of them were made emotionally, but rationalized in a logical fashion.
Yes,
Yeah.
because as much as she wants to pretend she's
Well, I
not,
said,
she
yeah,
is a
she-
very emotional person.
Yeah, and Tanya fully says, humans are very emotional people, and it's something I've had to realize, and yes, even I'm included in that. That's an actual Tanya quote.
And her emotion during most of that is fucking terror and doing whatever it takes to stay alive.
Yes, exactly. At the same time, society says that getting slipped aphrodisiac is to be expected in the red light district, as much as
No,
having
it's not.
alcohol put in front of you at the local tavern. See, that's another thing. He never, slipped
What?
that in to the story itself?
What? Yeah. What red
That's
light
not a
district
part of
have
Don
you
That's
been
kind of
in?
understood from Don Machi canon or implied from
No,
the light
no,
novels.
it's not.
To my
No,
understanding,
not really,
problem
no.
in Don Machi. It was
Yeah,
considered an issue that was
Yes.
happening in places in the red light district. It's not expected. They just couldn't stop it because they couldn't prove it after the fact.
Well, okay, let me rephrase. It's something that you should expect to happen. It's not right, but just like a girl going to a bar should be watching her fucking drink for somebody slipping in roofies, you should be, if you're in the red light district, be watching for the same fucking thing.
Okay,
and kind of expect it's probably going to happen.
Yes, that's fair, and you aren't entirely wrong on that, but the problem comes from when you're using that as justification as to why Tanya and the readers themselves should be okay with it happening.
I say you should be okay with it. I say you should expect it.
That's what he's saying. He's saying that the readers should be okay with the aphrodisiac being slipped into her drink because it's expected to happen when you go for sex at a brothel in the red light district.
That's stupid.
That's what his point is there.
Well, keep reading.
With that in mind, Tanya would look at the totality of circumstances, analyze how good she felt during that night, and would be disappointed in herself for not realizing that she did get slipped an aphrodisiac, but found the harm was negligible. Where's that fucking meme of the fucking bicycle stolen meme? Is that, oh, sure, bad thing happened to me, but the collective happiness increased, so it's a good thing.
Literally, it was just
one
those-
bullet. Yeah.
I mean, from what I understand of Tanya,
Yeah.
wouldn't the rationalization be time to go destroy a brothel?
It depends on her mood that day.
Yeah, I would say it would either depend on her mood of either can I get the police involved in this, or do I have to go kill a motherfucker?
In this case, her mood would be, you know what? I got laid and it was really nice. On the one hand, I feel kind of violated. On the other hand, I was kind of hesitant and I wanted to back out, but it was good. So
Yeah, I just
problem solved?
yeah, I think that's what everyone had the problems with is because I had a good time in the end that makes it okay. Is the
Which is
logic being portrayed here, which is
one
what
of the most problematic.
yeah,
sentiments of
I saw a
I-
lot of people citing that as their issue.
Yeah, I'm
Which-
gonna be honest, I'm not sure what's positive about gaslighting yourself in a situation like this.
Yeah.
Nothing, but again, Tanya. That is a Tanyaism. It would actually
yes.
go that way. I can see
Tanya
it.
does frequently gaslight herself into thinking her choice was the most logical one. This is a
Like,
factual statement.
joining the military.
However, again, that doesn't make it right. What the character decides is completely different from what the readers accept or have to accept or are allowed to find issue with.
Yes, but on the other hand, that's a you issue. That's not a Tanya issue. As far as she's concerned, it's fine. And if you
Right,
can't
no,
accept
no,
that, that's
but-
on you as the reader.
But
Counterpoint.
again, the character itself doesn't have agency, and the author wrote them to accept
No,
it. It's
fuck
fine.
off.
No, hold on. Let me fucking finish here. The author wrote them to accept it as fine. So when someone leaves a comment on the post saying, "Author, I didn't really appreciate you sat there and had Tanya justify being sort of kind of semi-raped," they're justified in posting that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the author's point is that they're not justified in posting that because, look, Tanya was fine with it. It's like, well, Tanya isn't a person. You wrote her to be fine with it. You can't then say, look, Tanya's fine with it because I wrote her that way. You can't complain.
No, that everyone, you still have a right to complain about that. You literally, that's
Yeah.
your mouthpiece.
So,
That
yeah.
is not the character.
Yeah, it's
Like that's not how that works.
conveniently, this all
complain.
circles back to what we fucking started the night talking about. The characters
Warhound
don't
Titans.
have agency. They
Can we go back
can't.
to talking about Warhound Titans? I'd like that better.
No, because then I'll start talking about Warhammer fanfiction, and you don't like that.
You know what? I'll take that over this.
No,
Yeah.
you won't.
Hey, you wanna?
Yes,
why
I
don't
will.
why don't we just start reading the most popular fanfiction, the End Times? Because that's fanfiction. Fuck
You think you're
UGW.
so clever, Sneaky Nose.
I do.
Had to call roll.
It was a moment of, you think you're so clever, Sneaky? What? Sorry, force of habit. Nose!
Exactly.
I always love those little group dynamics here. Where someone will say, "How dare you act as if wait, I'm so sorry. I meant why."
Yeah,
Force
hang on a
of
minute.
habit.
I apologize. I meant why. Fuck you, why?
Like the time it wasn't me who threw the Molotov.
Sneaky, why did you? Oh, I'm so sorry. That wasn't you that time.
Oh, good times, good times. Anyway, society doesn't see a problem with her being drugged into sex, so her chances of recourse would be negligible. No, again, society
not true.
does see a problem with it. It's just really hard to enforce any sort
But
of
that's very different from society not having an issue
compensation.
with it, author.
Yeah. It would
Well, and a lot
never
of that
happen again.
stems directly from Ishtar, who herself is charming most of those people into not having a problem with it.
I'm aware, but again, his own arguments undermine his intention of countering the arguments that people are making about his story. Because then he also goes on to say it would never happen again, at least not without her consent. Well, what do you mean?
Getting drugged?
Well, why is the first time allowed to happen without her consent? Why would it never happen again? Would she always go to the red light district with a fucking anti-poison spell circulating now?
That sounds like Tanya, yes.
I mean, yes, but she would have done that anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
Which also sounds like Tanya, yes.
So it's more just like the author is now just inventing shit out of a bag to explain why it's suddenly okay and why people aren't allowed to complain. Flying into a murderous rage seems a bit far out, as some of the readers wanted. Yes, I don't think Tanya in this exact situation would fly into a murderous rage, because again, she did go to the brothel for sex and received sex.
No, she'd go full lawfare and try to rules lawyer it into somehow benefiting herself. Probably
Yes,
involving
yes.
getting free sex later.
Possibly. Still, the point being at the end of the day is she did receive the thing that she went there for, maybe not exactly in the manner she intended to receive it. So murderous rage is unlikely to happen. However, yeah, lawfare would likely be her go-to on that one. But of course, we would never find out if that's actually what ended up happening, because this was the chapter that killed the story.
As it turns out, that kind of thing will definitely kill a story.
Yeah, it
No,
turns
the
out
chapter
that
didn't kill the story. The comments killed the story. There's a difference.
well, no, the author arguing with the comments and refusing to see the other side of the argument is what killed the story. But we're just going to blame the chapter because it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
She came to the brothel to have sex, ended up getting drugged into having sex. Is it scummy? Yes, but these are Amazons. Oof.
No.
Not really.
I don't think you want to go there, author. I don't think you want to use the different race, different culture card on that one.
Actually, Sneaky, to be fair, Amazons in that much are very, very rapey. Very rapey.
Again, I don't think you want to rely on the different race, different culture argument.
I have no problem doing that, but he might.
I meant from more of a Rule 8 perspective.
Oh yeah, there is that. But no.
Yeah.
You could argue it in context. I think maybe.
Yeah, it's just it sets up a very sandy foundation of argumentation, though, shall we say?
Salty, you mean?
No, sandy. Sandy. Building a castle on sand. You know.
House on sand, but
Yeah, whatever. Point being, feels good to make it 100 pages. So there's that, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, you skipped one.
What?
Some of those comments felt like they were projecting their own thoughts and feelings onto a clearly defined and well-established character, and suddenly believe that Tanya should feel as they should feel, and it just doesn't work like that. Which is the best point made in the whole thing, and absolutely right.
I mean, you weren't wrong. I did see some absolutely fucking outlandish shit there, and to be fair, some of those posters did post like they were fucking psychopaths themselves. So
That's QQ.
that's QQ though. So yeah. Also, thank you, Laura, for the mod for the picture. Sneaky,
Yes.
no. What? Sorry, force of habit. Yes. Anyway, enough about Don Machi. Let's talk about Wooby, and then we'll talk about Warhammer. What the fuck is this? A follow-up to An Ideal Semblance?
Sounds like a sequel.
It is.
Ask you.
Ideal Semblance. It is said semblance is an extension of one's aura. Yeah, they definitely do say that.
I don't think we ever see that, but they said that.
They definitely said. Well, no. To be fair, they sort of showed it with Yang in how she's a very brash, aggressive, masochistic idiot.
Yeah.
That's a nice way of putting it.
They sort of showed it with Blake, in where her semblance is basically playing substitute, the Pokemon move, and then running away. Yeah, then running away. Can't believe you call Akira a bad author. Who the fuck's
What?
Akira?
Who?
Who? Never heard of this person.
You're gonna really have to narrow. Not you, Sneaky. Okay. Good. I want
Still
to
need to
be.
narrow it down.
Yeah, I want to be sure of the people I'm insulting. Maybe this is as I was saying. They sort of showed it with Blake with the whole substitute and run away thing, so that was kind of good. And then they basically didn't show it with literally anyone else ever again. Oh, what's Penny's semblance? Oh, she can shoot death beams. Why?
Robot!
I don't think that's her semblance. I think that's just something she does because robot.
Here's the
I'm not
question,
sure she even
does
has a
that help
semblance.
her?
Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not sure about it. That's the problem.
Here's the question: does it help Penny? No, no, it does not.
In one time.
Unfortunately, Penny is dead. Lol. Lamau.
God damn it! Fucking the wiki.
Oh, what did the wiki do this time?
The wiki has her fucking different forms listed as original, rebuilt, and final.
Oh God.
Bruh. I'm surprised the
Oh, that's-
final isn't.
Damn,
That's
I didn't
so
know Penny had become a
fucked up.
Gundam.
No, she's a Final Fantasy
it-
boss.
You know what they should?
Long
You know what they
though.
should have done to fuck with people?
Uh,
The wiki should have said penultimate.
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 Oh, that
It
would have
worked.
messed
It's
people up something
two different
fierce.
jokes. I'm so proud of myself.
Oh
Good job.
God.
You really shouldn't be.
I don't know. I think I should be pretty proud of myself. What do you think, Sneaky?
Man,
Yeah, a
what
little bit, yeah.
fucking waste of a plot point with Penny. Just
Well, I mean, it's
Oh,
RT. They're the kings of wasting plot
stupid.
points.
I've noticed.
You noticed you weren't there all along?
Their stuff was pretty enjoyable for a while, man. And I was willing to give Ruby a lot of slack for being quite literally one of the first of its kind at that level.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
just
she
give it a
doesn't
second.
have a semblance, but she could have one.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Also, son, I was with Rooster Teeth since about volume 4, I think, of RVB, so they weren't good at throwing plot points away yet.
And now I feel old because I was there for volume 1.
I
Well, it
mean,
was all
I will
that
never
was
forget
all
what I fucking said to Max when he first sent me a clip of Ruby when Volume 1 first came out.
I don't
What did he
even
send
know
you?
if I sent you anything. Are you sure it wasn't just a trailer I sent?
No, you sent me episode 1 of Ruby, and I said, that's
messed up.
funny, now send me the real episode. And you go, that was the real
That's it.
episode. And I said, okay. And then I didn't touch Ruby for another 3 years.
Oof.
Sounds about right.
No, Sneaky, that is the real episode. Oh. Well, fuck this
Ah.
then.
Interesting.
Because, like, episode 1 was like 3-4 minutes long?
Yeah,
No,
they
episode
went
one
with a
wasn't
short
that
episode.
long. Episode 2 was 4, I think.
Yeah, it was like, I was like legitimately like, alright, that's a funny joke. Now send me the real episode. That is the real
Yeah,
episode.
it was 12 minutes long for
Yeah.
the first episode.
And, like 4 of those minutes was the
It was like
opening and outro, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like Ruby.
I think if you put the
Uh,
entire season 1 together, it might make a 90-minute.
It's 35
Maybe.
minutes.
Oh, it's 35.
No, it's 2 hours. It's a full-length movie. That's
Not
Episode
a good
1?
full-length movie, but a full-length movie.
I thought episode 1, 2, and 3 was a full-length movie.
No,
No.
No.
not even.
No, those are the later seasons they started, like, going for that 20.
Well, they
minute
didn't.
or
They
more
didn't
time.
standardize the time until season 4.
think about it in season 5. Actually, I think season 4 still had like a 5-minute fluctuation between episodes.
That's fair, yeah. Yeah, no, season 5 definitely they had a standardized time because I remember it'd be like 16 minutes in and we'd be like, oh, well, that's it for the episode. Too bad, we were just getting to another cliffhanger.
God, I hated that cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger.
And then the big fucking fight was, guess what? It's a bleach fight! Teleport blade, teleport blade, teleport!
Volume 5 was the volume of wasted potential.
Though, to be fair, we did get to
They
see
built
Hazel
everything
Child
up.
Beaters. Hazel the Child
We got
Beater.
to see. I don't want to fight this child, Hazel. That child has Osmond Soul in it. Cracks knuckles. All right, where do I
Child!
start? Oh,
It's the fucking child
still-
punching.
I'm
The
so
fucking
mad. It's
child
like,
punching
we
gift.
legitimately were like intrigued by the end of every episode of Volume 5, and then it just dropped off a cliff that we didn't see coming,
Yeah.
and not in a good way.
I mean, literally dropped off a cliff we didn't see coming.
Oh!
Yeah, there were a few instances.
I remember being like, hey, I want to join in these watch parties, and then season 5 happened. I was just like, well, I don't kind of want to join these watch parties anymore.
Boy, I made the right
Don't
decision
worry,
not joining in these watch
After
parties.
Volume 5, Sneaky didn't either.
Yeah.
I think I continued on my own.
And then
Watching
you
it, I'm
convinced
like,
me to
man.
watch 6, and then we sat down and watched 6 and 7 together. And then we
I think I
all gave
convinced
up
you
at
to
8.
watch it to laugh at.
Yeah.
No, I went through 8. I
No,
haven't gone through 9 though.
Okay,
'cause
you didn't give
the-
up. The rest of us did.
I had to see the train wreck through to the end, man. I was there from day 1. I had to see it through to the end. I had to see how they took Monty's legacy and just
Jizzed on it.
dunked it into the dumpster.
Yeah.
By the way, Ruby Volume 9 still, there are still so few people who give a shit about it. I still haven't found it on alternate sites.
You
Watching.
haven't. There is so few people that give a shit about it. You can't even pirate it.
It's on.
God
the one
damn.
I have a thing for.
Like in fact, I'm like at this point, I'm like, okay, I'll probably have to wait till it actually hits Rooster Teeth's website, and it's still not there.
Oh yeah, did you hear they removed Camp and RVB
They removed a
From-
lot of shit.
from YouTube?
Off YouTube. Yeah. People are like, it's because they want more money. I'm like, I don't know. That YouTube revenue would probably have done them better than whatever they're.
Yeah, but
Just the
short-sighted,
fucking-
retarded decisions are the name of the game these days.
No, it's because WB told them to pull it, is my guess.
Probably because they have a deal with HBO and shit.
Yep.
I don't like this.
It'll be on HBO Plus or some shit here soon.
Oh man, this hurts my soul. They have a series. They're just the VTubing thing. They're literally just call it Ruby VTubing. That
Oh, you know what really
Oh,
hurt my
so
soul?
far.
You know what really hurt my soul? It was that picture I fucking sent you, where the Crunchyroll shill had to interact with the VTuber Ruby.
I don't think I've seen that clip. I don't know.
I-
It's a bad clip.
I sent you a picture of it, and I just fucking died looking at it, because it was the most scripted shit ever. Like, say
Oh.
what you will about corporate VTubers from Japan with the whole fucking idol culture. At least the hollow girls, at least their shit isn't fucking scripted entirely. Obviously, they'll have the scripted shows where it's like, this is obviously scripted because it's like, this is the game show. Haha, well, look at the jokes we're gonna tell that were obviously thought of beforehand. So we could actually tell them on air.
So it's more authentic.
But yeah, most of the time, whenever they do collabs and shit, and it's not like specifically a Hollow Live hosted show, it's unscripted, and some of them will say the most unhinged shit in existence, and it's like, oh, this is how I know it's real, because there is no way they would have ever approved her saying, I really liked the time I stole your panties and sniffed them.
Dura moment.
absolutely approve that.
No, they wouldn't.
No, they
No,
wouldn't.
they wouldn't.
And
Yeah,
That-
for the
that is
longest
completely-
time, they didn't let Gura make a Dakimura because they're like, Gura, your body type. We
Your
can't do
body
that.
type?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gura's like a fucking 5'4" midget. Yeah.
she's tiny.
They
Well,
literally.
she's also straight as a plank in
Yeah.
every aspect that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, poor Gura.
That's the
Poor
problem.
girl.
Gets commonly mistaken for a fucking child.
By the way, a random update on Crunchyroll. Apparently, Ruby Volume 9 it can only be watched with Crunchyroll Premium. I guess
Oh,
they think it's
damn.
a selling point.
yeah, I guess it's a selling point, I guess, yeah. Gonna really hop on that Crunchyroll train
Ooh.
again. Definitely not at all.
Imagine buying Crunchyroll.
Yeah, airport security thought she was a child. The teller at the checkout
Cashiers.
lane thinks she's a child. Her doctor thought she was a child.
Poor girl.
She literally can't drive because her feet can't reach the pedals.
What?
Isn't she like actually 4'6" or 4'7"?
She is fucking tiny.
Oh, she's that tiny.
Yes, and flat.
If we were to go by Callie's example, she is of yeeting height.
Oh, 100% eating height. Absolutely, just spin her
Yeah.
around and discus toss her.
I actually watched that particular VOD from Miss Calliope.
Yeah,
I think it was the Henry Stickmin games.
yeah.
And I got to that part and I sat there, I'm like, I can't say I've ever had the active thought of wanting to just eat a short person, but I can't say it's not appealing. in
Let
its
the
own way.
intrusive thoughts win. Discus toss a child.
Well, we substitute Gura in this case, but yeah, close enough.
But yeah, literally the Japanese management were like, Gura, we cannot make a body pillow with you on it. We can't do normal body pillows with you on it. That would be child porn.
Followed by the immediate caveat of, which would be bad.
Yeah, which would be bad. Yeah. Eventually, I think she got it through because one side's wearing pajamas and the other side's wearing her normal outfit or something.
Honestly, I would have given them props if they just done it as like a normal throw pillow, and that's what she got.
Oh god.
That would have been hilarious.
Such a hard turn.
Just her whole fucking face on the throw pillow. It's just a
That's it.
giant
That's
close
all
up
you
of her
get.
face.
No, she's small enough that she could only fit on some small sized pillows.
She also. Did you guys ever hear this one? She wanted to do a booba mouse pad. And, management was like, Gura, with what?
Oh god.
Did they seriously say with what?
Yeah.
I mean, that was my immediate reaction there.
And she was like, well, it could be like, my cheeks. And the management was like, Gura, we're not putting your ass on a mouse pad. She's like, no, my face cheeks. The mouse pad could be my face. And the booba parts could be my blown out cheeks.
That definitely does sound like her.
That is stupid, but it also would have sold out.
It would have sold out instantly.
Oh yeah.
Like,
My brother in Christ, there would be no
People
copies
would've-
left.
they would have absolutely been like, oh, you know what? Pouting Gura as a mouse pad? Sure, let's have that.
Well, I mean, you say that, knows, but the fun part was that when she was doing the announcement stream, I think it was this year's announcement stream for her merchandise, it sold out before it went on the store because she accidentally linked to it during the stream because it didn't officially go up yet, so the store wasn't officially open, but the link she dropped to it was like the direct path link.
That's our Agura.
So by the time the store opened, they already sold out, and she was like, whoops.
That sounds like a girl.
That's our Agura.
Oh god. So anyway, yeah, that's why I absolutely die inside whenever I watch these other VTubers that are like corpo VTubers, like the Crunchyroll and the Netflix and the Sony one, because it's all
Whoa.
just scripted.
Hold up. What
Yeah.
do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean the Netflix one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Netflix one.
I'm not
No, what?
surprised by Sony because Sony is still at heart a Japanese company.
You say at heart they're a Japanese company, but their HQ's in Los Angeles now.
Yeah, they're
Well,
California
they also
now.
just fired. They also just got rid of the dude that made all the sweeping changes that pretty much killed the
Sony,
PlayStation as
yeah.
a console.
Yeah. Yeah, the Netflix Chan. Yeah.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah, yeah. I believe they are trying to cash in on the Watame craze.
Oh yeah, really striking while that iron's hot after a year and a half.
Well,
Yeah.
hang on, let's see.
The Watame craze isn't quite there anymore.
Yeah, what was really cringe about it is
Oh god.
the cringiest part about it is this was directed at the US audience, and they did it in a majority Japanese with subtitles.
Oh my. Okay, so they did a HoloLive.
This is 2 years
Stupid.
ago?
Yeah, this was 2 years ago.
What do you mean this is 2 years ago?
Yeah, this was 2 years ago. They were striking while the iron was hot.
Does it Are they still do they still exist?
Sort of. No, not really.
Alright, you know what? I'm gonna give them props for one thing. Her voice actually is kind of pleasing to listen to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If
Yeah.
this didn't pan out for her, I hope she was able to continue content creation under a different pseudonym.
Of
That
course,
wouldn't
there's
be hard
porn
to
of
get a
it.
pseudonym other than Netflix's official VTuber.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, Crunchyroll did a fucking collab, air quotes, collab stream with the Ruby. Did they even get Ruby's VA to do Ruby VTuber, or is it just some random person that sounds
it's
like
just,
Ruby?
It's just Lindsay. It's just Lindsay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, so it was a super
Well, I mean,
fucking
that's Ruby's
scripted.
VTuber,
I
like-
know, but I'm saying it's like, it was a super fucking scripted stream between Crunchyroll and Ruby. It was pain.
I kind of have to laugh at how.
Also,
they kind
that
of
makes it
diffuse
worse,
away.
actually, that they have Lindsay doing it, because that means Lindsay was the one that just said, oh yeah, Ruby, if she wasn't a huntress, she'd be a marine biologist to study the dolphins.
Sneaky, they actually retconned that, so apparently she's from Ruby Chibi-verse, not the main verse.
Oh
That's
yeah,
their
of course,
excuse.
yes, my bad, yes.
That's their
The,
excuse.
yeah.
That's what they're doing to, like, basically cover her fuck up like that.
Yep, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, part of the Crunchyroll scripted dialogue was Ruby specifically outlining a bunch of events that only happened in the Chibiverse and making sure to explicitly remind everyone of those events.
Why?
So people stop complaining about how Ruby's VA doesn't even know Ruby's own fucking backstory. Even though she's been the VA for Ruby for like literally 10 years.
You know, that's a pretty stark contrast to like some of my favorite voice actors.
Yeah.
Who are like, what do you what's your favorite character? Oh, this character because, and they go into just a whole diatribe about that character that is in depth, and you can tell they gave a shit about the material they were acting for.
Not Monica Rial, though.
What?
I said not Monica Rial, though.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Alma.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
The crazy, went hard, left, etc., and so forth.
Yeah, she the girl who was on The Office and had a bunch of scripted lines of funniness handed to her, and then she accidentally forgot that she wasn't funny, and that thought that all the lines that she said on The Office that people liked her for that were funny were actually her own original ideas and not the product of a writing team.
She's one of the ones who had a hand in ruining the English translation of Dragon Maid by inserting bullshit like, what were you doing all this time? It's food patriarchy.
Really? She was part of that as well? God damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah. That's what I was arguing with. So that's why I brought up ESG earlier, because I was actually arguing with someone today about that shit. Of where they were like, oh, well, ESG is mostly just environmental shit. And it's like, technically you are correct. ESG, in majority, is just environmental shit. But then why are companies like Blizzard getting ESG funding? Nothing they do has anything to do with environmental regulations. So clearly...
No, okay, no. There's stuff that a gaming company could do to significantly reduce the amount of electricity they use, which is not insubstantial.
You're not wrong.
You do realize the acronym stands for Environmental Social
Right.
Governance.
No, I am aware. However, in the official documentation of ESG, social is barely covered.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
I'm aware, but that was my point, though, in the argument, is they're like, oh, well, social's barely covered in the documentation, so it's clearly more about environmentalism. And my point was more, the reason why it's barely covered is because they don't want people to know what they are doing. And when they do tell you what they're doing, they want to be able to run behind the shield of ESG saying, oh, well, no, it's more about environmentalism. See, we barely have anything social in it at all.
Exactly.
And their point was like, oh, well, Blizzard, in this instance we were arguing, Blizzard it gets a bunch of ESG money, but they hired all of these, diversity hire people anyway, which, by the way, in case anyone was not aware, Blizzard created a diversity tool to make new characters with.
Oh, we don't talk about the diversity tool.
Yes, it was a literal program they coded that would produce a character with the most diversity.
Well, no, Sneaky. I think you're confusing that. You're getting two things mixed up. Someone else made that. Blizzard had the diversity chart where they could measure, right? They could assign character traits for diversity. Someone else had a diversity generator.
No, that was also from Blizzard.
Blizzard used the chart.
No, the Blizzard used the tool. That's where the whole that's what the whole big leak for that was. Is that Blizzard? It got leaked that Blizzard was using this tool to create new characters for Overwatch.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was like, oh, they're white. However, because they're gay, they get 5 diversity points, and we're going to make them schizophrenic, which gives them like 7 more diversity points, and we're going to make them low income and of a single mother household. And it's like all these fucking like talking points effectively to create a diverse character, and like each talking point got its own point value of how diverse it was. and like, you know, like being white, male, straight, and rich gave negative diversity points. It was fucking insane.
Someone should just here's my character, and then just have it be like negative 100, and just go. We need something to hit the other end
Well,
of the
the
spectrum.
funniest shit ever was back in the day when Atin and I went both to the same college during that period of time, and everyone was coming out with the privilege stack shit. Atin and I always had the best privilege scores because we had brain damage and were blind, and that always gave us like negative 700 points on the privilege stack. So we
put us pretty far back. It's like,
yeah.
oh, are you white? Take a step forward. Takes a step forward. Are you such and such? Take a step forward. Right? Is your family like middle
Like,
income?
it didn't matter what we fucking were answered before we got to the blind and brain damage sections, because that would always send us to the fucking bottom of privilege.
I remember someone was like, they're like, you're not blind, you just have glasses. And I'm like, I am legally considered blind in one eye.
I cannot drive a car, but I do anyway.
No, I can drive a car. It's just, you know. a
My
bad idea.
doctor said I shouldn't.
Shouldn't doesn't mean couldn't, though.
I mean, I really, really shouldn't. I can't read signs when I'm driving.
I can read signs. I can read. It's just real fucking hard. Or they're like, you don't have brain damage. I'm like, I literally,
Oh boy, do I have...
literally am blind because of my brain damage.
Yeah, so it was good days, good days. But yeah, I was arguing with them about this, and they're like, "Oh, well, you know, Blizzard would have hired these people anyway because of diversity pushes." And I'm like, "You're not wrong, right? You know, the Hollywood hires these bad writers anyway because of diversity pushes, even without ESG, and it was going for a long time before these funds were set up for this stuff. You know, because of affirmative action, but, you know, that's...
Yeah, ESG just made it a whole lot worse.
ESG made it worse because it was an enabler, because now these companies were capable of taking on more risk because they were getting free money.
More risk? I think you mean they were able to take on in just complete losses, flush it down the toilet, and still make a profit off that government ESG money.
Well, it's not government money. ESG had no government funding in it for the first couple years, but then I do believe some pensions were slowly funneled into it. Okay,
you can say it, quote unquote, had no government money in it, but you gotta remember the guy who was responsible for this is basically acknowledged as the fourth arm of the federal government.
Oh, I'm aware. And he's openly said before that the whole purpose of ESG was to affect social change and not environmental change. Yes, I know. But yeah, that was more my point, is that it doesn't really matter that even if Blizzard would have hired these people anyway, the risk they took on because they were capable of hiring these people and implementing their drop-dead stupid ideas and absolutely ruining every franchise they had made literal gold mountains out of. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that technically ESG is mostly focused on environmental issues. It is a shield that companies and the people employed by them hide behind. Like, I worked at a chip manufacturing plant, right? And HR came up with a new slogan about how diversity is the strength of this company. Now, gotta keep in mind here, this company did not research and development chips. They produced them, and that's it. They were using existing technology that everyone else already researched and developed. And that's all they did.
So what was the point of that tagline? The answer, there wasn't one.
There wasn't a point to the tagline besides hire less white people.
That always seems to be what diversity translates to.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm not really even sure why we need our workforce to be diverse if literally everyone is doing the exact same thing, because chip production is actually a really complex factory line sort of setup where, you know, they push a button, the machine goes burr, 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 it spits out a tray, they take the tray, they move it to the next machine, they push a button, machine goes burr, 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 and now they have chips. Like, that's it. I'm not sure why we need a diverse workforce to improve the strength of the machines. Like, do the
Speaking of
machine
shields,
spirits
I have
work
the
better?
shield of infinite. I'm out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's why all this shit's just getting fucking terrible these days. It's why every single franchise that had ever had a possibility of being interesting fucking crashes and burns. And then every franchise that could take off doesn't, because it just gets absolutely slaughtered in the mainstream sphere because, you know, Witcher, you can't like Witcher. What are you, a racist? How dare you think Poland is filled with white people?
Need to gatekeep harder.
You know, it's just like, oh, well, what? It's like, you know, if you like these games, you're now sexist, racist, blah, 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 blah. It's like, fucking what? Oh, if you like these if you like The Boys, you want to kill women.
Okay, no,
What?
hold on. I just rewatched The Boys, and I can tell you 100% for certain that the
It makes you
Amazon
want to kill
version-
women?
Yes, no, it's not. No. What it did do was make me want to strangle some lefties, because every minute of it, damn near, from season 1 forward, is propaganda. It is made by people who hate you. You can tell it's made by people who hate you. Like the whole Stormfront thing.
Yeah.
No, that was in the original comic too, unfortunately.
Well, that was also made by people who hate you.
Yes, that's true.
What I'm saying is, if you listen to the speeches they give, they're basically they're using the things they have done and pointing at you and saying, "Look, you did this. You're bad. You're evil."
Yeah. Yeah. Hitler drank water, you drank water, you're probably Hitler. It's like, what?
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just so frequent with media, and it's like then you have the unintentionally, accidentally based takes, you know, that show up in The Boys or with Ubisoft's fucking Far Cry 5, where it's like, you know, keep a rifle by your side. Wait, no, you're not supposed to like this. You're not supposed to agree with the bad guys.
Clearly, the French did not learn from the English with their songs.
Well, you know, I think it's more along the lines of clearly no one learned about Americans ever. You know, every single time you try to make fun of Americans with songs, we kind of just take the song and then make fun of you with it.
Or all the stuff that was going on in Far Cry. No, it was 5. God,
5,
I
yeah.
don't know why. I just erased 4 in my brain for some reason.
Yeah.
I erased 3. I erased 3 from my brain.
Why? 3 was good. I was gonna say 4. I can imagine why you would.
Because I have better
that.
memories of 4 because it was fully co-op.
Yeah, those were some good memories. Yeah. Max, what are you doing? No, Max!
Yeah. 5 was great though, because it also was like, by the way, guys, this is why the Second Amendment is important.
Oh yes, yeah. 5 was just like, hey guys, you shouldn't trust the government. You should own a gun. The police are out to get you. It's like, interesting. Go on.
Oh no, you're not supposed to agree with this. Is bad.
Yeah. All these people, they're crazy. It's like, I don't know about that.
You mean all the people that the feds literally set up a sting for?
Yeah. These people, they're terrible people. We only set them up to fail. and then they didn't fail. How dare they? Yeah.
Five was the last. Well, no. 4 was the last good Far Cry game. 5 was
Yeah.
okay. Them adding the RPG health bars was.
Well, no,
Anything
that
that-
was the RPG
that-
health
no, that
bars. That
first-
was New Dawn.
Oh, right. That was where it started New Dawn.
Yeah.
Fi-
I've had some
five was just a failure
run
in
issues.
its
It had writing issues. I remember that.
Yeah, it had a
much.
lot
I
of writing
tried
issues.
to write
There was like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
very forced segments. Like I think that was the biggest issue I had with 5 is that there was a lot of forced segments. Like, oh, his hunters are on the prowl again. You better watch out. And you're like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna fucking helicopter. Like, what are they gonna do? Shoot a blow dart? Ow!
Yeah, that was some bullshit. I'm flying along in a plane, max altitude, to get me.
At max altitude, I get fucking hit with a blow dart in an enclosed vehicle. It's like fucking what the shit?
Literally impossible.
They teleport this dart into my veins, and then it forces you to kill people, and it forces you to go through this really garbage, trippy mind jump shit. And it was just not fun. It was stupid. It was forced, and it's just like.
Although the drug trip one was kind of interesting with the set pieces.
Yo, yeah, with the girl with the drugs in the river, which again was extremely forced. It's like this cult just somehow managed to obtain literally hundreds of tons of chemicals, and at no point did anyone ever say, "Hey, that's a little bit weird." And then they proceeded to just dump it into the river, and no one said,
Honestly,
"Hey, don't
the more
drink
annoying
the
part-
downstream water."
Yeah, the more annoying part is how often like our character would get into the cutscene and just not do anything, and it was
Oh yeah.
annoying because
Well,
like
that's
Yeah.
because it would be like, oh, hold
just
on a second, we don't have the fucking cutscene ready. Can you come back in a later moment and just let us do that? Thanks.
part of the reason I got pissed off at that is because I think I just come off of Red Dead Redemption 2 at the time, and
Yeah, I can see why
got
you'd be
that-
mad about the game
I
after
got that
coming to.
cutscene in RDR2 where you're out in the woods and you're approached by 2 inbred brothers. And as they're walking away, I just pop one in the back of the head, the other turns around. I was like, yeah, what'd you think was going to happen? And pop him. Like, there, problem solved.
I am
Villains
Arthur
that
Morgan.
are known to be dangerous and are killing people, there, problem solved.
I am
but in
Arthur
Far Cry
Morgan,
5,
not government sanctioned
two-
psychopath. Fuck you.
Yeah.
In Far Cry 5, 2 of the boss fights should have been pull gun, fire, done. There, no boss fight. Only one of them had us in a situation where we couldn't easily pull our weapon, and that was the dart in the neck. Because, surprise, surprise, the only one with any lick of sense for how to deal with a gun-toting jackass was another gun-toting jackass. Who knew?
Interesting decision to come
Honestly,
at me. However,
I think
cast
the
gun.
story beats would have actually really served for them to have built up some of those bosses, and then ultimately, literally, what you can just do is they start monologuing, and you have full control of your character, and you can just shoot them in the head, they die. That
Just pull out your gun fast
Yeah.
enough and just like
Like-
snipe them.
That's some like Fallout 4 shit right there.
That is the
There,
head-
there he is, the most powerful man in the Commonwealth. Me and my 1911 raising up to headshot him and one tap him.
Yeah, no, literally, I think that would have actually served how they were trying to portray the plot really well. Because it would just be like, yeah, these guys actually aren't a threat. You're the threat. And the only person that actually gives you a real boss fight is actually the gun-toting veteran.
Also, they really, I still don't think they ever did this. They need to patch that game so that the radio signals and stories came through more clearly. I
Oh, yeah.
still despise that excuse. Oh, if you'd been listening to the radio, you'd have heard talks of North Korea escalating with nuclear. First off, that's a joke because it's North Korea. Second, I drove everywhere in that game. I almost never used fast travel unless I had to clear the entire map.
Yeah, it was
I
the
was
dumb.
radio on.
Well, no, the dumbest thing was it wasn't even just like the normal radio signal. It was literally a certain radio station during specific missions in a vehicle, and the vehicle was usually optional during those missions. So it's like, unless you were specifically in the vehicle listening to that specific radio station for long enough for that story to play, then you just never heard it during the game. And it's like, that was the dumbest shit ever. Because the reason why they did that, because it was tied to the story missions, because they wanted to make the radio messages show a progression and breakdown of talks that led to the World War III, which caused the nuclear bomb to eventually drop. But by doing that, they prevented people from ever fucking seeing them, because if you just so happen to say fuck it and blitz the main mission, you never
everyone
heard.
dies for no reason.
Yeah, you never heard any of those
Yeah.
fucking radio
And
signals.
everyone's
There
confused
were
as shit. And they're
times
just like,
in
so why did everything blow up?
yeah, there were times in like story missions where Sneaky and I, we just straight up were like, okay, we've flipped the car into 3 trees,
Yeah.
no vehicles around. Looks like we're hoofing it for the last 2 miles.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like anytime in between missions, we were in a vehicle. In missions, usually the vehicle was not a good idea.
Especially when they're like, oh, we'll follow this target. It's like, fuck. It doesn't help that I also would turn my radio music in my settings to 0, because I usually have my own music I want to listen to.
Yeah,
And-
whereas I'm usually fine with the music in game as long as it's good. Far Cry 4's local music was pretty fun. I enjoyed some of that music.
Yeah, I mean, it's good and all. Like, just like, don't get me wrong, like again, like Cyberpunk, good music. You know, all these fucking games usually have like decent music. It's just like
Sometimes you want your own
hearing it
place.
for the 12th time in the past 3 minutes. I kind of want to listen to something else.
You know, that's fair. Not everyone is weird like me and will occasionally just put a single song on loop for
Oh, I
hours
will
at a
do that
time.
as well. It's just I have never done that with a single video game song.
Oh, I kind of like doing that in Fallout New Vegas.
Okay,
Leave it on the one station. And only the one.
Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 are completely different because they used actual real songs from a period of time where the music was actually good. And yeah, I did keep those on repeat.
Oh, I will say it was great getting to hour 90 and learning that, oh yeah, if you have your radio on, enemies can hear that.
Oh,
like-
yes.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh.
what?
Yeah.
So I was bullshitting my stealth because I focused heavily on stealth. And the only reason I didn't get caught as often is because my stealth was maxed out.
I still remember when I went to
despite
go
the radio being on.
when I went to go to a
no.
party. There's a 21st birthday party, I believe, for one of my friends from high school. His parents had the grandparents over that day, and they had a record player. And the grandparents put in a disc or vinyl. Sorry, my bad. And over the speakers, fucking my Spurs Go Jingle Jangle Jingle starts playing. And all of us at the fucking party start singing it because we all played Fallout New Vegas for 200 plus hours.
Oh no.
And
And
the
then of course
grandparents
the
are
older
just.
people are just like, "Why are you singing that song? How'd you sing that song? That's so nice of
We're
you."
singing it
And
in
I'm
fucking like concert too, and the fucking grandparents are like, "Where the fuck did you learn that?" And we're like,
And then it's
"Wow,
just like, I can't tell them. I can't tell them. I can't tell them.
video games." He's Armored Core 6. Hang on, let me put my Gundam music on. Yeah, probably.
I mean, to be fair, in Persona 5, I literally just put on Fallout music while I was farming in Mementos because I fucking hate the Mementos music.
They fixed that
I thought
in
you were gonna. I
Royal-
thought you were gonna pull the
Oh, no.
ultimate move and have P3 or P4 music play instead.
Oh no, I occasionally did switch to that as well. It depended on the mood, to be honest, because it was like, because I was playing on Royal, I'm like, all right, I have to get all the 100%. So if I need to get levels, which you need to do, I need to be in Mementos for like something like 2 or 3 hours getting all the shit that I want before the next story
Oh.
beats. Because I can't spend any time in
Yeah.
Mementos unless I'm actively
Yeah,
planning it out.
Yeah. If I pick up P5 Royale, it's gonna be on PC, and I'm just gonna cheat engine the shit out of that game.
I mean, I don't blame you. Just cheat engine all your stats.
I will say probably the funniest, most meta shit I have done to Cyberpunk 2077 is I acquired a hacking scanner that scans the hacking GUI and finds the best possible path for the options I select.
That's kind of funny.
It's like,
So you found a hack for the hack.
yes, I found a hack for the hacking menu.
Nice.
And it's like legit though. Like I'll fucking share a picture of it too. It's like so fucking meta though, where I basically got a script that runs to auto hack shit.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I'll post it here. This is what it looks like when I run it.
is that an in-game item?
No, this is like I said, this is the most meta shit you could do to the game.
That's a mod.
It's not even a mod. It's just a fucking program that scans the game data.
What?
Yeah, it's the most meta shit you could do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally a hacking script for the hacking minigame.
They must have improved or redid the hacking game because I seem to recall it was piss easy.
Oh, I'm just lazy as shit. Dude, I went through like the first 60 hours of doing it by hand, and then I was like, all right, well, I kind of just want to get this shit over with. And so I
In some ways, understandable.
downloaded this and boop boop boop.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's fucking piss easy still. I just got tired of spending like 5 minutes on each one to find the most optimal route to hit the most things. Especially when you get to like a new area and there's like, oh, you enter this one building and there's like 20 fucking things you can hack. It's like, Jesus Christ, okay.
Hack all the things.
2 hours later, now I can actually do the mission I came here for. Now that I'm done doing 20 fucking hacking minigames. Don't get me wrong. I like they include that stuff.
You're just kind of sick of it.
200th time of doing it, however. Not as fun as the first time.
No, that's like the Mass Effect hacking shit. God.
Oh, God.
I tried to rerun Mass Effect 2 the other day and got into the hacking game, so it's like, really?
Yeah.
I have to do this every time?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
You must do it every single time. You must do it to the exact specifications, yeah?
9.
Anyway, Fate Stay Night Wooby. Fate Rusted Armor. Sakura had a life full of pain, almost destined to be hurt all the time, as if fate was against her. But when she summoned a pained, yet happy soul in rusted armor, can she get the happy ending with much less bloodshed? Or will more pain and suffering come to her world? The Rusted Knight thinks the former will happen. Rusted Knight John Arc, servant of Sakura. Okay, so first off, you summoned John. Congratulations, the most useless servant ever has been summoned. Even worse than Avenger. Second off,
congratulations.
John only brings suffering and bloodshed to everyone around him.
It's sad but true.
Like, literally, name one thing in Ruby canon that John improved.
I mean, I literally can't.
Exactly.
His family by not being there.
I'd say oof, but I can't really argue against that.
While you are not technically wrong, I don't like it. Oh yeah, by the way, I just realized I forgot all about chat because barely anyone ever fucking uses it. But yeah, underplayed. It says kind of weird how agencies haven't realized the potential of Gremlin VTubers. I think agencies have, because a couple of them have tried to get a Gura in each generation now. Doesn't really work out when you try to force it. And this might come as a shocking statement, but most women aren't funny. And if you try to force a woman to be funny, it comes out one of two ways. It looks like a sitcom like The Office, or it comes out not funny.
I thought that was something everyone just knew.
Well, you have to keep in mind that common sense is a commodity in Hollywood. A commodity that no one wants to purchase. Because they're all avant-garde.
Fair. That, and they've had years of these female comedians, quote unquote, making shitty jokes that they're supposed to laugh at, so their bar is kind of low.
Well, yeah, also the fact that these shitty female comedians also have an entire panel of writers to write all of their jokes for them.
Even then they fail because they suck on the delivery.
Yeah. Not saying there isn't funny female comedians, just that in the majority, there is not. Yes.
And finding someone legitimately funny like Gura is one in a million.
Very rare. I mean, you have to have a extremely rare set of circumstances, because this might come as a shocker. Men and women are different.
Wow,
And,
really?
yeah, I know. Brace yourselves. Men and women have different interests in jobs they would like to do. And I don't just mean paying jobs. I mean labor they like to perform. And then, from there, personalities separate them out further. Some women don't want to touch a sick person at all. Some women live for it. Is what it is. So,
Many such cases.
you start going through all these different filters, and the amount of women who have a humor, who are looking for employment in a comedy job, and happen to apply at just the right time to the exact right job that then premieres at the exact right time when the niche they are trying to provide for is looking for new content, is extremely small percentage. Ludicrously small percentage. So trying to force a Gura in every single generation when you're fucking releasing generations like your name is Ubisoft. And you got yearly titles up on the line. It doesn't work because people already have Gura. They're not looking for another Gura. I mean, they're looking for another Gura now because where Shark missed Shark. But they're not. There is not an absence of Gura like there was before Gura. You know, people are waiting for Gura now. Now, you know, if we go another year without Shark, maybe...
Has it seriously been a year?
It's been 2.
I thought
2
she did
years since her
something
stream,
recently.
right?
She's done occasional streams where basically she was mandated to, whether that was a festival announcement streams, I'm back for one streams, holiday streams, and Mantoy collab stream.
Wasn't there one where it's just like, oh no, I turned this on while I happened to be gaming and I forgot?
No. Mostly because apparently Gura has like a whole ritual that she does before she turns on the stream.
She's OCD too.
Oh, absolutely. She's also completely tech incompetent, which makes it even better. But anyway, yeah. So it's just a garbage story. Fate Rested Armor, garbage story. No one's really surprised by this statement. You have possibly the worst. What does he even get summoned as?
Calling it now, it's Saber.
Probably some
Probably.
shit like
Saber or Shield are the only things I could think he'd fit.
Avenger.
He ends up becoming Berserker for some reason.
He can be Berserker.
Rider, because of the creature that he bonded with.
Would you do really?
Yep. You know, that creature that he bonded with that is not part of any sort of legend about him at all?
I mean,
Yes,
Joan
legend.
of Arc did have a horse.
Of course.
Yes,
Well,
but he's not
If-
Joan of Arc.
If you send him in the context of this is a Joan of Arc XP,
No.
okay,
No.
sure, maybe.
No, he's being summoned in the context of he's the Rusted Knight from the fairy tale The Rusted Knight.
That's
That's fucking dumb.
I don't know why I gave Ruby the benefit of the doubt.
And apparently he speaks in nursery rhyme.
Excuse you?
Oh,
Oh, and guess what? He's not summoned as a rider. He's summoned as the Voyager class.
What a one-time thing?
Wait, hang on, the what class?
Voyager class.
Do you mean the foreigner class?
Don't know about the Voyager.
Voyager is the name of one foreigner who's the satellite kid.
Yeah, the satellite.
And guess what? It gets even better. He has Mind's Eye True, rank A, B, C, and D.
Huh?
How'd that work?
Okay, so Voyager is a class, but there's only one servant in it, and that servant is Voyager.
Mm-hmm, the one-time thing, yeah.
Yeah, no, he can't be that then.
Stop applying sense and logic to this author's writing.
Fuck you, Nose.
Oh,
Given what we've had to do with tonight,
Charisma? Guess what his charisma rank is?
I don't even
A.
want to know. Fuck you.
He has charisma on the same level as Gilgamesh.
No.
Of course.
No,
Because
he
of
does
course.
not.
He also has a class skill called Contact with Civilization. What the fuck that means. And he has 2 noble phantasms. The first noble phantasm is the girl who fell through the world, and the ever after, which is obviously EX ranked.
So I'm guessing he can just summon Ruby as a noble phantasm.
By the way, that's a divine invocation. Ever after. Yeah, that's right. John has a divine invocation noble phantasm that deleted all of the mana around him. I don't mean sucked up. I don't mean used. I mean deleted.
How did that work?
It does.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Interesting.
And he just instantly kills Zoken because he's clearly an evil villain. And by invoking the Ever After, he deletes all of the mana in the area, which causes Zoken to turn to dirt.
Okay, but how do you keep Zoken from, possessing Sakura through the worms that are already in Sakura?
Fuck you.
No, I'm gonna need that question answered, Arthur.
No.
What are you gonna do about the worms already in Sakura, Arthur?
Fuck you.
You shouldn't fuck the worms, Arthur.
I think he's gonna fuck the worms.
The worms fucked Sakura, Arthur.
Yes.
Cool. So is the stream done yet?
Yeah, well,
9:30.
we'll end it here, yeah. Just really cringy. The rest of it's a bunch of references to the Fate Stay Night Abridged series.
Of course it fucking is.
Of course. Oh, hey, he's back.
Why is this still going?
We're ending very shortly.
Did you know that John Ark has charisma rank A?
No, he fucking doesn't.
According to this author, he does.
He's also Voyager class. He's a Voyager class servant who travels to stars on his trusty jackalope.
You know what? No, it's funny. Darkest Dungeon is less painful mentally than this entire fucking stream has been.
You're welcome.
Fuck you.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Anyway, we'll end it here, gentlemen, because unfortunately, there's always more. And it always gets worse.